The richest man in the planet, Elon Musk, the Thomas Edison of our generation, like this guy is just so fucking dialed. Every company that he starts, it like just snaps his fingers and turns into a $1 billion venture. How's he able to do this? Okay, and so recently I read a book called Elon Musk. As you would expect, it's Elon Musk autobiography by a guy named Walter Isaacson. He wrote autobiographies on Steve Jobs, Einstein, like Da Vinci, and he followed Elon Musk around for I think it was like 2-3 years, and so he had first sight on what was happening in Elon Musk's life and how he actually operated these businesses. Okay, and one of the insights that I got from this book is that Elon Musk has a 5-step algorithm for improving products, systems, processes, whatever the case may be, and that's what I want to walk you through today, and how you can implement this into your own business. Okay, and so as an agency owner, I'm constantly studying the greatest minds of our time and seeing what info I can extract and apply into my own business. And one of the greatest minds of our time is Elon Musk. He's currently running the following companies: Tesla, which is between 6 and 700 billion market cap; SpaceX, trying to get us to Mars, $210 billion market cap; X, formerly known as Twitter, $40 billion market cap; Neuralink, $7 billion; and The Boring Company, which is around $5 billion. Okay, but it's a fairly new companies here. And so combined, he has just short of $1 trillion market cap across all his companies. And you read statistics like 99% of businesses that are started, something like that, don't even reach $1 million. Like, how the fuck is this possible? Okay, so there's clearly something that this guy knows that we don't. A lot that he knows that we don't. Okay, and so it seems like every company that he starts, he strikes gold, but that cannot be further from the truth. This is not a thing about his network or him being lucky. It's his judgment, experience, and intelligence. And he has a lot of experience over all these ventures that he started. And so he has developed frameworks that he follows that he can replicate and implement into any business he starts today. Okay. And so after decades of trials and tribulations, Elon has created a 5-step process that he calls the algorithm that he applies when it comes to designing any system, product, or process. And what I've come to realize is that this 5-step process doesn't only apply to technology companies, but any business, including agencies, service business, info product, like any business that requires you to set up systems, processes, designing, like basically every business. Okay, and so step 1 is to question every requirement. Okay, and so let's say you have individual components, whatever this may be, individual components of a product or like a system, and there's a requirement that you have to put it in this specific order. You have to put it in the blue, yellow, green, red order. You have to question that. Why? Who made this requirement? Why is it required? What benefits does the requirement have? Maybe you want to put it in yellow, blue, red, green order because you found that it's better, it's more in demand. And this is just an example, but like, who creates these requirements? Okay, and so the observance is that the mental model Elon uses is called first principles thinking. Okay, and he said the only rules are the ones dictated by the laws of physics. Everything else is a recommendation and should be questioned. Okay, and so an example of first principles thinking is, for example, when he was creating full self-driving for Tesla, he's, one of the things he read, and this is a quote directly from Elon in his autobiography, he said, "Humans drove only using visual data, therefore machines should be able to." And I think one of the reasons why he said this was because when they were first developing, this was in the early stages of full self-driving, his team wanted to develop the full self-driving software in a specific way where it used or like where they programmed it in a way, they basically coded like, if the car sees this, then do this action, like a bunch of if-then statements, if you understand programming, how it works. But he said, no, let's just attach like a visual system or camera onto the car and let it just collect that data, and based off of that data, let's train it to be able to automate the driving. Okay, and so this is basically the mental model he was using that motivated that decision. Okay, and so Elon questions everything. When there's a requirement or regulation that's prohibiting him from doing something, he often questions who created that regulation and why. Okay, one of the biggest things he talks about is regulations, and he always complains about there's too many regulations. We're going to get to a point where there's so many regulations that everything's going to be regulated, and it's just insane. He often pushes for like a regulation efficiency committee or something like that, and like he just questions everything. Okay, and so questioning and challenging things is the key to innovation. The people who end up being innovators are the ones who use unconventional thinking to question and challenge things. Okay, you have to learn how to think unconventionally instead of conventionally. And the people who are able to think unconventionally are the ones that create something new, that go from 0 to 1. Okay, and that's how you innovate. The step 2 after questioning questioning every requirement is to delete any part or process you can. You'd be surprised how big he is on deleting stuff, okay? Like in this book, when Tesla was going through a period where they needed to manufacture a lot of cars, they needed to hit a deadline, he was just going around all the different stations in the manufacturing I forgot it's called manufacturing factory, and he'll go to every station and he'd say, what is this part for? What is this system for? And if they can come up with a reasonable answer, he'd just say delete, like just like that. He wouldn't overthink it, okay? And so you have your system, and then essentially just delete stuff that you think is not necessary, okay? And you want to test it if it can work without those deleted stuff. And if you don't, I'm gonna show you what the 20% rule is. If you don't add back at least 10% of the stuff that you deleted, then you did not delete enough, okay? And so Elon was big on deleting and trimming things. If the laws of physics says there's no need for it, delete it. Okay, that's what Elon said. And if you're scared that deleting things might mess everything up, you need to get out of that scared mindset. You cannot run a business fucking scared. You need to just be able to fail fast, jump, and then build on the way down. Okay, you cannot be scared. And Elon said if you have, and that's what I just said, if you don't have to at least add back minimum 10% of the things you deleted, then you did not delete enough. Okay, don't be a bitch. Delete it. If you need it, put it back. Okay, and this goes for any system in your business, whether it's an automation or whatever you're creating a system for, or maybe a product, or just make it as seamless as possible with the least amount of input needed. Okay, and so delete every part that is potentially unnecessary. If we don't end up adding back some parts later, we haven't deleted enough. And this is another quote from him. So once you've deleted any part or process you can, and I truly mean, or Elon truly means, any part or process you can, like don't be a bitch, just delete it. And then if you need to add it back, add it back. It's not a problem. Don't be scared. Once you've done that, then the next step is to simplify and optimize. And this is where most of the cutting costs and speeding up the process comes into play. So for example, we have, our nice little staircase of blue, green, and red colors. And then we found that, hey, maybe putting it into this simple horizontal line structure will not only make it look better, make it better to use, but it's also going to cut the cost of manufacturing since it's a simpler shape. And also it's going to speed up the process of manufacturing it. Okay, and that's just an example of me trying to convey this business principle to you. And so one of Elon's superpowers is cutting costs and producing things cheaply. One of the best ways to reduce costs of creating something is to simplify the process of creating it. Okay, and Elon came up with something called the idiot index, and essentially this calculates how much more costly a finished product was than the cost of its basic materials. If it had a high idiot index, it was due to inefficient manufacturing techniques. So for example, when it comes to SpaceX creating rockets, he creates rockets out of stainless steel. And so he would, take the stainless steel and all these other materials that he's creating rockets with, and he would look at the price of the stainless steel, and then he would also look at the price of the finished rocket, and like what was the difference between the price? How much more did the finished rocket cost than the stainless steel and the commodity materials that goes into creating these rockets? And if it's a high idiot index, it's a high price. I forgot exactly what's the ratio, but you could probably search it up. And if it's a high idiot index, that means it's an inefficient manufacturing techniques and it's too complex. You have to cut things out, you have to simplify it, okay? You have to optimize it, okay? And so once you've simplified and optimized, you can accelerate cycle time. Okay, and so we've done all this testing, and we'd see what's the best way to take these raw components and turn them into the system. And now we just look at the process as a whole and look at what's the best way to speed it up. Okay, and so Elon advocates for speeding up cycle time as much as possible, as long as you're not sacrificing quality. That is very important. Never sacrifice quality of your product for anything. Okay, and so speed plays a huge role in Elon's business philosophy. And so Musk believed in a fail-fast approach to building rockets. Take risks, learn by blowing things up, revise, and repeat. We don't want to design to eliminate every risk, otherwise we won't ever get there. Okay, it's a business principle. You gotta let some fires burn. And so many people are just so fucking scared to take the jump of oh, I'm so scared to sell this client because I don't know, I don't have a fulfillment system in place. Like, bro, just fucking sell them and then just build on the way down. Jump and build on the way down. Don't be a fucking bitch. You cannot be scared. You cannot be timid. You cannot be hesitant when it comes to this game. This is war, okay? It got intense, but just, you have to move with speed, okay? And so after you've accelerated the cycle time, it's time to automate. Okay, and this is the last thing. And if you watch any Elon Musk interview, I know with his most recent interview with Lex Friedman, it's 8 hours long. It's with Elon and the Neuralink team. Elon says that one of the biggest mistakes he's made in business is automating too early. He says he keeps repeating that mistake, and it's something that he's had to learn. Okay, and so you have the individual components, and now once you've sped it up and you've gone through the whole process, you've gone through the whole algorithm, it's time to automate it if you can. And so Elon repetitively says that one of the biggest mistakes he keeps repeating was automating things too early. And this is from the book. Always wait until the end of a designing process after you've questioned all the requirements and deleted unnecessary parts before you introduce automation. Okay. And so that's the 5-step algorithm. Question every requirement, delete any part or process you can, simplify and optimize, accelerate cycle time, and automate. Okay, and this goes for whether you're building a product, a system, like any single thing that requires you to execute something in a structured manner, a system or process. I highly recommend you implement this 5-step algorithm. This is something that he's created over years of experience running all these various companies, and it's going to help you out a lot. He said it himself that it's very effective and it's helped him a ton. Okay, and so we just recently launched our free AI Scaling Specialist School community completely for free. You can join right now, get insights, how to implement AI into your offer, into your agency to separate yourself from the red ocean market of all these people selling commodity products. It's the first link in the description. Join it completely for free, and I'll see you in there. Bye.